Detective Talk of the Day, October the 14th, 7:38. The day is 2. HF2 coil, version 310. Let me turn this camera off momentarily. Camera back on. We're going to talk about this modified sensitive FT program. I will go through the settings. In this video here, though, I'm only going to show this using full tones for you fine folks out there. Remember now, this is the HF2 coil. Okay, I have been looking a little bit at this 9-inch coil. I don't like what I see with it for the application here, though, so far. Version 3.10. 3.10 with this coil, I like what I see. More so. Okay, now I've got some iron scattered around here, but you see those two nails there, colonial nails, and there's that mighty 10-karat gold ring. Okay. .53 kilohertz multi-frequency band, the fast program, silencer number 1. You see what happened? Rotate a little bit. Okay. See what happens here. So I got to get all the way around here, hit signal on that thing. All right. No signal there, or very little. Okay. Modified sensitive FT program. You hear that? That's full tones. Okay. Now to show you here, and we'll just use this old quarter here. That old quarter's laying up there, so you know you get your pitch with your higher conductor standalone. You see that? That old quarter there. There's that gold ring. You hear that? Boom, boom. There's high tone on that gold ring. 52 in the meter. Fast program, silencer 1 again. You hear that. So if you walk through here like this, or even come through like this, you see what could happen to you on a mere 2-inch deep gold ring. That's 2 inches above that coil. You hear that. That could be 1 inch deep even. I'm a half inch over that gold ring right now, sweeping it with this coil. What does this modified program do doing that? You hear that? I'm right there. I'm just above that gold ring. You hear that? Okay. So this may increase your odds per sweep direction. 1 rogue nail in a damn sports field, and that gold ring laying. Now remember, that coil right over there, running it traditionally, we can remove that nail there and just leave that one there, coming like so. You are shit out of luck. Okay? So you can find stuff that other people have tried to find and swept over, and they never heard it. They either heard an iron tone, or with no iron tone on, they heard nothing at all. Do these finds still exist inside? Well, I would say they do. Okay? I would say they do. So, let me talk about how I've got this set up here. Now, this is a modified sensitive FT program. Now, the bottle cap, I believe I've got turned off. I'm not so sure you need to run bottle cap with this, okay? You might run a little bit. I don't think 5 is a smart move, though. Looking again this morning. I've got the silencer set to -4. You could probably run a -3. Okay. You probably run a -3 if you want to. Alright, we are in full tones. Alright. I'm going to skip past this for now. Okay, the notch. The notch is very important in this machine. Now, I've got a 0, 4 through 9. I think it's smart to start it at 4. Now, you can terminate it where you want, but you probably need to at least go to 8 or 9. You can go a little higher. And there's some additional notch in this machine. I believe. Yep. See it right there? N2, I've got 0, 0 notched out. I'm going to hit the left arrow key. You see it go away. I'm putting it back in there. You got to have that in there. Okay? Now, let me go back and show you this because this is important. Look at the offset. Okay? I'm sweeping again. You hear that. Now, the quarter's out here. But it's being picked up traditionally, okay? It's over the top of the notch. And we've got a big old number in that window there for ID. So I sweep the gold ring again. You hear that. That's an offset of 30. If we dial this offset to 0, what do we get on that gold ring? Listen. You hear that. Now, I'll remove this quarter. We'll put this nail up here. Now remember, the notch is in this machine, so we don't hear anything, but that ring sort of sounds like an iron tone, huh? Remember, it's reporting a 1. And this full tones is on a sliding scale. Well, the offset changes that. So we're going to move the offset up to 5. We'll sweep again. Pitch come up a little, didn't it? We'll go to 20. So you might could live with a 20, huh? 15? 15, I don't know about that, okay? Now you can run this higher if you want to run it over 30. I showed you 30 in the video before. That's max 40. Okay, so you got to hear that. Now here's the quarter at a 40. So they sound a lot alike, don't they? So if we bring this down to like about 25. Now we've got a low conductor, high conductor sort of sound. But remember, a high conductor can be in a position around iron and it's going to give that pitch, okay? Let me change the whoops. Now the FET, let's talk about that for just a minute, okay? I had it on in the video. I just turned it off. It doesn't change anything for the ID on this machine coming in the screen because you're running a negative disc, okay? Remember, FET only restricts showing in the screen for usually for what's being reported below the disc. Well, here I've got a disc of -4. Okay. And we will go down here. Large ID, okay? So when you get this in the wall, you'll have that tone pitch set. You'll see that 1 in that meter. You'll already suspect, uh-oh, is that a non-ferrous target being trying to be flanked by iron, by a nail or nails. Okay, so in this situation here, you would get this signal here. You might glance down at your meter, you hear that low tone, and you're like, oh, I've got that in the meter. And notice the pitch came up. Now remember, you can run higher notch on this machine. If you want to look for higher conductors, just keep in mind, idea of higher conductors in and around iron, and it's not a situation like that necessarily. The ID can be compromised. So I wonder if you run a notch in this machine of something like about a 65 or 70. Okay. You could do that, but you can still hit that ring. You get bonus detecting. How about that shit? You run this machine traditionally, and I've showed you the fast program. Silencer 1, you're not going to hit that. You hear that? That's full tones. Reading a 1. Offsets at 25. We toggle back over here to the fast program. Silencer number 1. That's what we've got. Which one do you like the best? Now remember, it don't have to be a sight full of iron. One nail could keep you off of a gold ring with a bunch of diamonds in it. Sports field, this would be a pretty good way to run it. Now, let me go back over here because I need to tell you this. Some people might not be keeping up here, okay? Silencers at number 4. 53 kilohertz band. Not the 29. I've looked at the 89 a little bit. The 53 looks like it's doing pretty good. You can experiment with this. If you don't like it, don't use it. Delete it. Okay? And using this remote, you can run this as an adjacent program to another hunt program. You have this run more traditional. Well, you could check that target right there. You're getting that signal right there. And you sweep. You know, since I've got this camera running, let's toggle over here to the mono program. Let's dial the frequency up on this machine. Let's just leave it 43 kilohertz. All right. I'm going to turn the iron volume to max just intentionally here. Now, you could use that as a check program right there if you wanted to. You are hearing iron, aren't you? Come on up with the frequency. Speed 3. Not getting in single frequency, are we? You notice that. 63 kilohertz. So that's not going to save your ass sweeping like this, coming through there. You'd leave that gold ring probably. All right. This is just a program I think could have some benefit. It may not suit everybody. It may not suit every site. I can't say exactly. But a sports field, a park, and you still get the option to rotate on this target, okay? There's that full tones again. You still get to rotate. Okay, you still get to rotate. That's going to conclude the old video there. Have a nice day.